The initial charge to create the Common Core standards was to make certain that students would be college and career ready. So we were charged with creating standards for the end of 12th grade in literacy that would provide kids some certainty that they'd be successful in college. One of the things we did initially was to look at college textbooks and to look at the complexity of the texts that kids were to read in college. Then we looked at high school textbooks, and we found that there was a great deal of difference in terms of the complexity that kids were asked to address in high school and what they were to take on in college. This was important, but it was also important because those books that students were reading in high school the readings were scaffolded. Teachers were interpreting paragraph by paragraph. The reading that kids are going to do in college is independent reading. There's no scaffolding. And it's approximately 8 times more than they read in high school. So we were immediately aware that we were not preparing students to be college or career ready. And the assumption is that the reading that kids do in careers is as rigorous as that done in college. So we felt that they wouldn't be successful on the job front either. And that was the genesis for these college and career ready standards. The next step was, because we found this great gulf, was to back map down to kindergarten and try to make certain that what kids were able to do grade by grade added up to what they were doing or what they would have to do in college. Now, when we looked at some of the state standards, we found that they were nowhere near preparing kids for the level of rigor that kids would be faced with when they graduated from high school. So we knew we had to back map standards, and we knew we had to create K-12 standards that would better ready kids to do the reading. This was also true in writing, that students are simply not writing enough, and they're not writing about things that matter. So they're not writing necessarily about content. A lot of the writing that they're doing is personal narrative, and yet that doesn't have a place in college, nor does it have a place in the career. And these are forms of writing that they're not being taught to do, and so we made certain that those were built into the K-12 standards so students would be successful when they left school.